Back here to Buffalo, a 6-11 matchup in the East. Louisville and South Florida. 5 double-figure scorers on average for the Bulls. And meantime, for Louisville, great shooters, including Isaac McNeely, as we say hello for the first time to Allie LaForce. Hi, Allie.
So great to be with you on this stage. Well, South Florida head coach Brian Hodgson has more family members and friends cheering him on than the entire university, it seems like, as he takes the stage here on our NCAA tournament opening round. Now, that's a slight exaggeration. However, he does have over 40 family members and friends here to support him, with one of them being the most important and impactful by far, his father, Larry. Coach Hodgson was 2 years old when Larry and Rebecca brought him in as a foster child and adopted him right down the road from here in Buffalo. His father is a huge reason why he loves basketball. However, he has never seen him coach in person before until now. Larry was diagnosed with dementia. It makes it very hard for him to travel, but fate brought them together tonight in Buffalo. Coach is emotional, but he's here to do what he does best in front of Dad.
What a phenomenal story that we will follow over the course of this day. And he got some tough work on the defensive side from C.J. Brown in this opening possession. Both of these teams, Jimmy, use about half of a shot clock normally on possessions. This is late. It's Hadley, and he knocks it down. Javon Hadley, a tremendous three-point shooter, has the first bucket.
Well, it's pace, it's space. It's getting some defensive stops and just getting out in transition. Which team can do it the best? Which team can thwart the others' offense? Great start by Louisville to get the three in the corner.
Louisville gets 41% of its points off three-point field goals. Drive and kick possibility as well. And the first foul goes against South Florida. Winning looks presented by Great Clips. What you got?
Well, speaking about shooting threes, three-point efficiency, 318 made for the year, making about 9.4 threes a game for South Florida and for Louisville. No Brown, no problem. You have capable players that can step up big time. The key is also defensive rebounding, physicality for Louisville.
That physicality created the first foul on Isaiah Nelson on that whistle we just saw. Louisville brings down the shot clock to 10. Conwell slides it for Hadley. He will drive, drop it off. Zougaris had it blocked. He gets it back, and they do reset the shot clock. It hit the underside of the basket, evidently, and Hadley will turn it wide for another three, and that won't fall. It's an offensive rebound for Zougaris, and he is fouled. Man, a rugged start for the Cardinals out of the ACC.
Yeah, it's one of those things, too, where I think Louisville's trying to find their way. Listen, they're going to play a little bit more physical this game without fouling. That's typically not how you envision or see a Louisville team play. But they understand that because South Florida wants to play physical, that they have to initiate that contact and put them on their heels early.
So if you're South Florida, you see that. What's your counterattack if you're Brian Hodgson?
Well, it's you play your game. I mean, first you got to get stops, and then you finish your defense with the rebound, because if not, you can't get out. Let me say something about Brian Hodgson. He may be on my all-beard team, too. Okay.
Yeah, he's on the medal stand for sure.
He is on the medal stand.
McNeely wanted the catch and shoot, and he'll load it up and miss. It's a rebound for Brown. And here comes South Florida, taken away, pickpocketed by McNeely down the lane on the Euro, and it's 5-0 Louisville.
Well, both teams want to get out and run. The key here is shot selection. Long shots produce long rebounds, and if Louisville's guards engage like that, now you're able to get out and run.
Here's the burly Josh Omojafo. Man, is he a tank. He's gotten to the line nearly 200 times this year.
Well, they're going to put a lot of pressure on the interior defense of the Cardinals. Brian Hodgson saying that that's part of the game. You see the defense at that time. Tough foul by Pinion.
Well-timed double, but he connected with the body.
Well, watch this. It's the defense by McNeely to get out, anticipate where the ball is going to be put on the deck, and because that ball is almost above the break, you don't have defensive balance to get inside, and then on back end, 2 feet in the paint.
This is not one of those games where you think a three-point lead is going to hold up for very long. With what we expect scoring-wise, it's Conwell. It's no good, and it's a rebound for South Florida. Here is Omojafo, the Ontario native. We're just near the border as Pinion steps aside and knocks down a three for the tie.
Well, quick offense. You get it up quick. You catch Louisville in rotation. and now you're able to get a clean look. And I think it's very important for Joseph Pinion to be able to knock in that first 3 look. He was 0 for 3 against Wichita State on Sunday. So being able to see the first shot go through not only gives him and provides him a little confidence, but that just trickles down to his teammates.
It's a good point about the final. The 2 games prior to that, he was 11 for 24 from 3. So which one will they get today could be important. On the skip, and that ends up somewhere in Rochester.
You can expect a little nerves from both teams before they kind of settle into the action, the excitement, and you want to invite that nervousness because I think it forces you as an individual to play a little bit better, to focus a little bit more, but you may have some errors at the beginning.
C.J. Brown got it away for Pinion, and now here come the Cardinals. It's a 1-on-3. Woolley has a notion he's going to go anyway and try and slide through, and they're going to say travel. Chris Pacey with the call on the walk for Pat Kelsey in year number 2 at Louisville. A magnificent turnaround. But he, even though he's been here, Winthrop, College at Charleston, he's looking for his first NCAA tournament victory for himself, and the first one since 17 for Louisville.
And that sounds strange when you think about this university, but the expectation, just like Kentucky. First round is okay. We need to get Sweet 16, Elite 8, get to a national championship game. That's the expectations that are placed upon a coach once you're hired for the Cardinals.
Wes Enos misses that. Sananda Frew off the bench with a one-handed rebound for Louisville. That's punched away, and here comes a running of the Bulls. The layup good for Gavin Hightower, the freshman off the bench, an LA kid who gives South Florida its first lead.
Well, active hands can sometimes produce deflections, which turn into turnovers.
This is going to be an unbelievably high-octane game. Frew down low, had it denied. Nelson was on his hip.
Yeah, Nelson can play physical and yet not commit the fouls that allow him to stay in the game, and a deep shot in the court hits the top.
Hightower has a line on the rebound, and he picks it up. He has come out with some moxie as Pinion misses, and the rebound for Frew. How about Gavin Hightower? 10 minutes a game, and his engine is flaring early as Frew's got an offensive rebound for Louisville. Conwell lets it ride. Back iron. Offensive rebound. McNeely. That's number 5 already on the offensive glass for the Cardinals. A long rebound threes could be important in this game. Here's Frew. Down low to hammer it.
And that's the advantage to you. Offensive rebound, another possession. The defense is in scramble mode. You go into a quick pick and roll. Now you're able to exploit the middle. And you talked about this. It's a lot of three-point shooting, but every now and then we'll get one of these pick and roll, Frew down the middle, and take on 2 of those.
All right, tournament summary. Louisville, part of that ACC contingent with 8 in the NCAA tournament. Miami not pictured the student section swimmers. They did get the win last night. Allie told you off the tip about Brian Hodson, the head coach at South Florida. He is from Jamestown, New York, about an hour plus away. His parents, Larry and Rebecca Hodson, are here. And if you didn't hear Allie mention it, Larry is dealing with dementia. It is the first time Larry has seen Brian as a head coach. It's the second time Rebecca has seen him as a head coach, with being a caregiver for Larry, as Oma Jafo drops it off down low and right at the rim. That dangles off, and Frew crowbars the rebound away for Louisville.
And Collins affected by Frew right there inside, hesitated a couple times, not able to complete that layup right in front of the rim.
Gavin Hightower nearly had a steal for South Florida.
And watch the tippy toes right there. Gonna cut those shoe size down about a ½ inch.
What is the dividing line for tippy toes? How short of a distance does it have to be?
It depends on how long that nail is, man.
They'll double here on Conwell. He gives it up. Frew pitches to the corner, and that won't fall for Louisville and Kobe Rogers. There's Hightower again in a hurry. Pinion sidestep. He left it short. Omajafo rang it out of bounds, and it will stay with South Florida. Cold shooting early for both teams.
It really is, but when you get out in transition, okay, this is an opportune time to shoot this shot. You say, well, why? Because now you don't have bodies on bodies. Omajafo that time able to track, locate, and then keep this play alive or this possession alive by throwing it off a Cardinal leg.
Hightower for Pinion on the drive through the challenge, tipped in the air and taken by the Cardinals of Louisville.
And Frew is able to impact the game early with his height. And thinking of which, that's what I'm saying in transition. Able to get a really clean look for McNeely,
who got cleaned out on the shot and still buried it for three for a Louisville lead. McNeely's such a dangerous three-point shooter who didn't shoot it very well in the 2 games in the ACC tournament. Here's Hadley to Frew, filling the lane on the kick. Conwell slicing and getting fouled.
Transition. You've been around this game long enough. Kick the ball ahead. You say, well, why is that important? Well, if you kick it ahead, now watch the defense. 4 or 5 defensive players at the free throw line or below. No one matches up. And Isaac McNeely able to walk right into above the break 3.
Ryan Conwell misses the first free throw. You won't want to miss this modern day treasure hunt. Matt, king of hoards, Paxton, is in search for the ultimate payout, discovering rare big ticket items buried in some of the filthiest homes across America. What hidden gems could be buried right under your own roof? Watch new episodes Sundays on Discovery. Your house isn't. By chance.
No, it's not going to be there.
Hypothetically.
Not at all. I'm not OCD, but I like stuff put in a certain place at the crib, man.
Do we need a couch for you to lay down on right now?
No, but when you come over, you got to take the shoes off, man.
Okay.
Okay.
I promise. There's C.J. Brown for South Florida, off to Enos, the first-team All-American Conference player. Oh, whirling dervish down the lane.
Beautiful move that time. Patience, balance. Allowed Enos that time to come off that spin under control. And a nice touch off the glass.
A young man who switched to his left hand in 8th grade as a primary left-handed shooter now. Ball fake. Wally buries it. That's nasty.
Nice little head fake. But again, on balance, he's able to make that fake and explode up into a shot.
Louisville by 5. In this opening game here in Buffalo, winner gets either Michigan State or North Dakota State in our second game. Enos against Kenai Roots, who got the block. Roots wants it. He'll swoop in. Off the juggle, no. And the rebound for South Florida.
Well, that's excellent transition defense that time. Enos gave up the height on Roots, but timed up that shot perfectly to knock that layup possession away.
How about the defense here from Kobe Rogers, who Pinion just could not get rid of. And Nelson in the corner. Louisville scrambling well defensively. It's a lob down low. Nelson somehow got it on the rim, and Frew has been big early on. He's got another rebound.
Well, Frew, his height is having an impact on the interior scoring for the Bulls.
With Rogers going to work. Sliding in the lane, met by Pinion, tipped in the air, taken away by Isaiah Jones, who clutched it to his hip, and it's pride free, just ripped out of there by Rogers. This is a tough game early on. Roots for 3.
But it's a tough game, but it plays into the hands of the Cardinals, okay? The size, their athleticism, ability to protect the rim is playing in their favor right now.
They're holding South Florida on an average of 88 points per game to 9 in the first 10 minutes. Pinion ends up on the deck. Rebound for Rogers. Louisville without Michael Brown Jr. They're used to it. Oh, no way. Conwell missed it. Too strong somehow from there. And you get a foul instead of a run out. Shooting starting to heat up. Kanai Roots, the big guy, just his 13th of the year. Get complete coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Tournament on NCAA.com. Moments ago, Allie LaForce with Pat Kelsey.
Well, Coach, the shots may not be falling, but the offensive rebounding has been incredible. What do you tell your team regarding the first effort?
Keep doing it. We're doing a really good job on the offensive glass. We've thrown the first punch. We're playing really, really hard. Now you just got to settle into the game. You get those first 5, 6, 7 minute jitters out of the way. Now you just got to go hoop.
Thank you so much, Coach.
All right, thanks.
Jitters up 8.
That's a good thing. But the physicality part, listen, this is a Cardinal team that averages about 10 offensive rebounds a game. They're already at 5, which leads to 2 more possessions that they have over South Florida because of that physicality inside, establishing that they can rebound offensively against this athletic South Florida team.
And you have to believe that Brian Hodgson in that huddle said something about physicality the other way, because the first play is to Oma Jaffo, and McNeely got a face full of them on that drive.
It's not just that, too. It's, okay, let's settle in. Okay, we want to play fast. You want to play quick, fast, but you want to play under control. And early in this game, the jitters, the excitement of playing has led to some off-balance shots, some quicker shots and turnovers. Now let's settle in, get back to playing and being who we are. Look, this is a team that started out 8-5. Okay, then they went 17 out of their last 20 games. Okay, this is a team that knows how to play together. Now you just have to settle into who you are.
Yeah, figure out what you are, and as you just saw, it's a team that hasn't been to the NCAA tournament since 2012. They won in the first 4 against Cal that year, and then beat Temple in the first round, lost in the second round. This is their first trip, and they face a former conference opponent, the 34th meeting, and it's all Louisville in this series so far, as Ali Khalifa, a tremendous passer from Egypt, is in. He gets the redirect right back at him. Hadley turns and misses, and a rebound for the Bulls.
And yet, you're only down 2 possessions. Right. You're right where you need to be once you settle in.
Jaffo sees a crease and tried to thrive in it and missed.
But I like the offense. He went side to side, east to west, and then the gap. Jaffo was open. He just overshot that shot, and there's the passing. You talked about from Khalifa and Conwell. They were able to connect, dive in that slot, and finish that layup for 2.
There's a reason they call him the Egyptian magician, Ali Khalifa.
Well, it's the ability to run your offense through a post player allows a lot more space and freedom of movement inside the paint by drawing out the opposing big.
Maybe a bit of a settle, and we get a foul as Woolley made contact. It's a foul on Louisville and Woolley.
Well, it's not just being a good passer, it's placing the pass where your teammate can catch it, then finish. Watch the pass by Khalifa. It leads Conwell right to the basket. Even though the rotation was in effect, it was too late because of where the pass was placed.
Would you say he's a wizard, Khalifa?
I was waiting to say that, Jason. Now you're taking my stuff, man. You're taking my stuff.
I don't see a trademark next to it. Talk to the copyright office. Here's Enos. They'll double him. He'll get rid of it for an open look, and that will not fall for Jones.
That's excellent defensive rotation. You cut down the driving lane, and you get back on the kick out to contest.
Oh, Khalifa string music.
Hey, not just a passer, but the ability to step out, catch and shoot.
Doesn't do it a ton. No. He does it enough, though, to put it on the scouting report, and we get a whistle over on the far sideline against South Florida, away from the ball. Chris Pacey with the call.
Well, it's Nelson kind of sinking in to try to take away, I believe, the driving lane by Hadley. And Khalifa able to waltz right into that open 3.
I think they're going to look at a possible F1 here for excessive contact. We will see. This is a review officially of the foul. It's Lee Cassell, Steven Anderson, Chris Pacey, your 3 officials.
Well, let's see. It's here.
The previous play is under review.
That's Lee Cassell in his 19th NCAA tournament. Anderson his 7th. Here is the contact. Let's see on the closeout by Conwell.
Well, underneath this, the landing area. You know, in the NBA, it's all about the landing area.
Yeah.
And you have to provide the shooter. Now, that's where the contact they're looking at ensued was the trip.
Yeah, does it rise to the level? Let's see what Enos does there. We got a good look at it the first time around, and then Conwell hits the deck hard. That is a dangerous play.
Well, it's not a basketball play.
Yeah.
So the officials are going to look at that. I would not be surprised if it is a flagrant one, just because the optics, and again, it's not a basketball play. He's in the landing area. Conwell is, and look how he wraps in his right there. He wraps his legs around him, so I can see the flagrant one.
We'll listen in on the call.
After further review, the common foul has been upgraded to a flagrant 1 foul on USF number 2. Louisville number 3 will shoot 2 shots, and Louisville will get possession of the ball with 30 on the shot clock.
Shoot 2 down here, and then Louisville ball on the side.
What's the word you just got?
So flagrant 1, shoot 2 for Louisville, and then Louisville takes the ball back out because the shot was taken.
Yep.
Rebound was had by Louisville, so it's Louisville possession, but they have to take it back in the front court.
The headline news of all that after the free throws here for Ryan Conwell. He's got the first one. That's the second foul on Enos, by the way, who scores him 17 points a game.
But you just have to be smarter in that situation, because against a team like Louisville, you can't give them anything easy. And now they're in their rhythm. One of your best players and best shooters now is regulated to the bench.
And it's not an extraordinarily deep South Florida team at the guard spot.
Well, and it's kind of hard to duplicate and replicate what Ennis brings to the table. So you'd rather have him, of course, manning up the point guard position than standing next to Coach Hodgson.
It's a 19-4 run right now for Louisville. Khalifa spins it wide, thin out the defense, extra pass. What a closeout by Jones, and the foul called against South Florida. Man, the Bulls were right there matching a nice ball reversal from Louisville.
That's a tough call. I mean, it really is. The ball swung great back to the perimeter, where Woolley was able to gather it, but Jones, I know, said I closed out. He made his move. Yes, it was some contact.
That's 6 fouls against South Florida for a team that's got just 11 points. Tough pass for Khalifa on the pinball. It ends up with Pinion. They'll kick it around right back to the Arkansas native. Joseph Pinion trying to get untracked. He had an early 3 and nothing since. Omajafo cleans out the underside, and this is out of bounds to Louisville. Oh, Cardinals so far looking for their first NCAA tournament win in 9 years for this proud program from Kentucky. Watch whip around coverage of all men's games with Fast Break, presented by Nissan and the March Madness Live app. Moments ago, Allie LaForce caught up with Brian Hodgson of South Florida.
Well, Coach, it's so hard to compete when you go 5 minutes without making a single field goal. What do you keep emphasizing to this offense to get them back to the flow?
It's not our offense, it's our defense. We're not getting back in transition. We're giving them easy looks for 3, and then we're doing a horrible job on the glass. Our offense will get going if we can get an old board and a putback.
Thank you, Coach.
Look, Jimmy, they are the 7th best offensive rebound percentage team in America. They've only got 3.
Well, but the size of the Cardinals is not allowing the Bulls to really impact this game on the offensive end, and that was one of the concerns coming into this game, is that will you be able, the Bulls, battle and get those extra opportunities on the offensive end by getting offensive rebounds.
And have that pace and space that Hodgson is looking for. Here is Khalifa playing substantial minutes in the middle part of this first half. Woolley step back, missed it. Rebound for South Florida, and Omajafo, bodies everywhere.
Well, and also Coach Hodgson talked about transition defense. It's not fast break. Louisville only has 2 points in fast break, but off of missed shots, getting matched up in that secondary transition is where Louisville has been able to exploit that and get some open looks from behind the 3-point line.
That 3 wouldn't fall for Omajafo. Offensive rebound, reload. Brown caught front iron. South Florida is 1 for 13, now 14 from 3. Hadley hit the deck. He was looking for 2 minutes for hooking in the home of the Sabres.
Got him.
Yeah, shot fake to the stars for Woolley. He draws the foul on C.J. Brown.
Yeah, and that time Woolley very patient with his dribble. Didn't discontinue it, which allowed for this driving slide, and Khalifa did an excellent job of kind of switching over, pinning Pinion a little bit to get Woolley closer to that baseline, and beautiful pump fake to draw that foul.
Pinning Pinion.
Pinning Pinion?
Yeah. Don't use all the good stuff
P's.
early. Woolley at the foul line. He's an 81% free throw shooter. Team is top 35 of the country, as that is no good. You know, you said it off the top of the show. The freshmen in college basketball are so important in the landscape, but without Michael Brown Jr., yes, they're 7-5. It's not the same record. It was mostly an ACC play, tougher opponents, and they have played without him. So what do those games without him mean to today, Jimmy?
Well, what happens is you established a role when Michael Brown Jr. was out. And that role got redefined when he came back, and then when he goes out. But you're comfortable with running your offense knowing that he's not in the lineup, and you're not going to replace that shooting and that 18 points. But collectively as a group, the ball moves, defense still has an impact.
Hadley had to come back for that basketball from Conwell. Don't blink here. Conwell spinning and firing and missing, and the rebound for Jones and USF.
And that time Nelson had a little influence on that shot.
It's going to be a tie-up at some point, and it is. The arrow will go to South Florida. Our first look at the possession arrow. Always nice to see it here in March.
That is working.
Yeah, we don't need the shot clock operator today, but we need the arrow operator. South Florida has gone bone dry offensively. Pinion to Nelson on the back pedal, and finally the Bulls are on the board. That's their first made shot in more than 7 minutes.
But a quick hitting play. Pinion, a little ghost screen. Nelson able to catch, identify where the rotation is coming from, take the contact. Listen, part of why Nelson hasn't been able to be established is because South Florida right now from behind the three-point line is 1 for 15. So now you constrict the lane a little bit more. Nelson is not able to get some freedom of movement. The lob is not there because a lot of shots are being missed from behind the three-point line. So let's see if they go back to that middle pick and roll and see how effective it can be.
Nice screen to get Conwell open. He missed it. Follow won't go. Third chance for Louisville. Yet another offensive rebound for the Cardinals. Rogers got it outside, and McNeely just off the bench with 2 fouls. Makes it 13.
Yeah, offensive rebound number 6. You catch the defense while they're scrambling. McNeely made them pay.
Out of Polka, West Virginia. McNeely, Pinion with a little shoulder dip in for 2. Don't blink. Down the lane. Rogers had it raked out of his hands, out of bounds, and Louisville will keep it. Isaac McNeely just hit a 3, Allie.
He did, and his left shoulder doesn't seem to be affecting him. You see the padding on it. Last game against Miami, he actually got elbowed in the head. He received staples, re-entered the game, and he injured his shoulder in the same game as he sinks another one. The update on that is yesterday he got the staples in his head removed. They're padding up the shoulder. It's still affecting him in terms of, yes, he can feel it, but it's certainly not affecting his game.
No, he's shooting it very well, and we're going to get a foul on the drive, and it's going to be a block against Louisville.
Well, and this is a different team with McNeely is making those threes. Because now you have to honor the three-point line a little bit more, which opens up some slot cuts and driving lanes. But the crazy part is, so you worried about the stitches and the concussion, right? But it was the shoulder that really caused him more discomfort than anything else.
I'd be worried about all of it, personally.
Come on, man.
So he's from Polka, West Virginia. You know what the mascot is at the high school in Polka?
I dare to guess.
They're the Dots. The polka dots.
Oh, okay, all right. I did not see that one coming.
South Florida trying to get on the comeback trail. Pinion. Machafo cleaving the lane on the kick to the corner, and that is well short on the three for Nelson.
That little zone defense employed that time by Kelsey, but
what hands there by Jones to the rim for a memory.
All right. Gets this back to a 4-possession game. And can you muster up enough defensive stops heading into the half to cut this lead below double figures and feel pretty good about yourself going into that halftime?
But this is exactly what Brian Hodgson said to Allie. Here we go again. Nelson hammers it. He gets what he wants on that South Florida bench, huh?
He does. He talked to his team about settling in. Defense first. Defense can create some offense. So Jones says, yes, I'll take it, but not to be outdone. The player of the year. Dunking in 2, cutting his lead down to 10.
Back here to Buffalo, game number 1 of our 4-game session. As Isaiah Nelson, the American Conference Player of the Year, finally starting to get on track, Jimmy, for a South Florida team that just hasn't gotten to the free throw line like they expected to this point.
But that's part of what Pat Kelsey, head coach for Louisville Cardinals, talked about, being physical without fouling. So they've done an excellent job of kind of limiting the touches by Isaiah Nelson, more importantly the offensive rebounds, but being physical inside and not placing the South Florida Bulls at the line.
South Florida has started to heat up the ball handlers a little bit more. We saw it with Hightower on the pickup at midcourt. Woolley off the pass fake. Here's Roots. That sailed wide right. Frew threw it back in play, and here come the Bulls with Hightower. You can see the energy has grown just in the last couple minutes with the runouts for USF.
Well, it's because the defense set the tone to cut this lead down to 10, and there's that middle pick and roll I talked about that time. Great rotation by Conwell to kind of dissuade Nelson, who took his eye off the basket and missed that shot.
Conwell thought better of the 3. He'll pick up the screen from Frew. Woolley on the drive into bracket coverage. McNeely, a little shimmy, didn't have the 3. Pinion following him everywhere. Now he handed him off to Jones. 7 to shoot for Louisville. This is out of bounds, and it's going to stay with the Cardinals at 2:52 to go in half number 1. Snowy Buffalo warming up as the day goes on. Here's our game summary. South Florida has missed its last 14 3-point field goal attempts. It would be their lowest first half 3-point percentage at 6% of the year at this point.
Well, I mean, this is a team that shoots it at 33%, okay? But they shoot high volume of threes. And they get a lot of that, their work and their points, off those offensive rebounds. Not the case so far. That's a tough telegraph pass.
Great read by Nelson. It's his own personal dunk contest in Buffalo.
And right back in this game, able to cut this lead below double digits. You're feeling good about yourself. Defense is really setting the tone these last 2.5, 3 minutes.
What pursuit by Olajafo there. Here's Frew on the drive, and he gets hammered. 2 free throws for Sananda Frew, but watch the eyes of Nelson here, Jimmy.
But a tough pass. Anytime you throw the ball above the break, above the 3-point line, you got to be sure of it. If you float it out there, it's easy to tip with a deflection, and then you're off to the races because you don't have defensive balance because the offensive team, Louisville, is taking the ball out on the side. Always a tough place to take the ball out if you're not sure about that pass.
It's 2 on Nelson. Frew's free throw is no good. Hey, it's round 1, but you've been putting in the work for your team all season. Celebrate making it to the tournament with an ice cold Coca-Cola.
That was good. That was good.
You'd have one, right?
Well, I mean, if you sold it to me, I mean, the way you said it right there made me thirsty.
Well, it's all the pretzels making you thirsty.
There you go.
Frew just a 63% free throw shooter. A little game pressure applied on Louisville here as he goes 1 for 2. The junior from Berlin, as McNeely is out with 2 personals. You saw Nelson got his second as well. Enos, the leading scorer for South Florida, has just 2 points and 2 fouls as well. He is back on the floor for this stretch run of half number 1.
Taking a chance too. I mean, but that's a coach in Hodgson that has complete confidence that Enos won't put himself in a situation to pick up that 3rd foul.
Can Louisville put him in one of those situations?
Well, I would put him in pick and rolls, any kind of force switch. I would go at him to see if he's really committed to playing defense, or is he going to be, you know, a weak spot for South Florida's defense. Missed that backdoor cut.
South Florida's bench was livid that they missed it. Pinion, a bit of a misfire on the pass, rescued by Jones anyway, and that's a step out of bounds on the sideline. It's a turnover for Hightower.
But here's an important part about passing. One, Jones didn't see the cut because it was great defense on him because he couldn't see it. The second time here, watch this, but look at the ball pressure. So when he cuts through, see the hand up? He couldn't see the pass. But then when Jones hits, I think it was Hightower in the corner again, that pass was off target and took Hightower out and forced him to step out of bounds. Passing at a premium gets you shots.
The vision was not high level there as Woolley off the spin, had to kick it out. Zugaris got it to the wing, and he knew that was short. Off the shot for Conwell, but the tip goes down. We're playing volleyball now. Zugaris.
Body by Zugaris, able to get those big forearms and biceps up over the top. And kind of tipping it. That's a fact. It doesn't matter how it goes in, Jason. Kind of like some of my putts. It still counts.
Some of them go in. Enos the miss, and we're going to get a whistle. Let's see who they get. It's going to be against Louisville. Back to this tip-in, or tap-in in your case.
That's a tap-in. Now, this is really good because the contact wasn't there. Zugaris able to get that left hand involved in it, and he's telling his partners, count that too.
You might have heard some of the Louisville fans saying Zeus here for Vigelis.
Well, you get it. We get why. Not just the name, but the build. And how about Louisville kind of responding to the South Florida run?
Yeah. That's 3 on Woolley, by the way. It's his 3rd foul. But, I mean, Zugaris needs to be big like that. He played against Giannis a little bit growing up. He's from Greece.
So he was in Giannis' way? That's what you're saying?
Free throw is good.
That's what you're trying to say?
Let me get into serious time here.
You.
House of the Dragon is back. Prepare for a new season of the most epic show on TV. The battle begins this June only on HBO Max. Did you
see 7 Kingdoms?
I didn't.
Oh, come on, bro. And you on this broadcast with me?
I mean, we can find you another fill-in.
Do you know who Egg is? Do you know?
Why don't you tell me?
No.
I'll quiz you on Survivor later.
I never watched that show.
Okay, we're even then. Snuff out your torch later.
Not the same.
Rogers under a minute here in half number 1 for Louisville, and he just had to ride that for Hadley. Ball pressure really heating up. Oh, what a cut. Hadley's open. Rogers found him.
Perfectly executed play. And the pass was pinpoint.
Brown to drop off. And Hightower acrobatic for 2 and a foul.
Well, let's go back to, you got a couple plays here. Excellent execution. Louisville able to shift the ball to the second side and get Hadley with a back screen. Watch the ball movement. Hadley patiently waiting for McNeely to set this screen. Pinion goes over the top instead of a switch. And the pass was on time and on target in Hightower. Zeus, you're not big enough, strong enough that time for me not to finish this off the glass. A chance for an old-fashioned 3-point play.
Hightower, year number 1, freshman at USF, knocks down the free throw. It's an 8-point game for Louisville with 30 seconds to go here in half number 1. It's a drive for Rogers, and he will go to the free throw line. He was not going to be stopped.
No, that was too easy, too, because that was a straight line drive to get by his initial point of attack defender. Louisville able to get itself back to the free throw line,
where they are just 4 for 8 so far today, as Kobe Rogers, the transfer who came here with Pat Kelsey from College of Charleston, hits the free throw. Coming up on AT&T at the half, scores and highlights and the latest NCAA tournament news. That's all coming up on AT&T at the half. 9-point game for Louisville. Time to start your engines, because TNT Sports is back as your home for NASCAR this summer. Tune in beginning June 28th on TNT and stream on HBO Max. Louisville a 9-point lead. The Cardinals have basically led throughout. There was a 7-5 lead on the board for South Florida on a quick 7-0 run when they started their scoring. But the Cardinals have owned this first half to this point. South Florida just barely cleared its lowest scoring half of the year. It was 25 against North Texas on January the 7th. They have 27 with 20 seconds to go in this first. It is C.J. Brown, the sophomore out of the state of Georgia, at the steering wheel for the Bulls. 10 to play first half in our opener. We'll give it to Enos, who's been very quiet. Foul trouble in this half. He's going to let it ride and miss. And that's the end of half number 1. The Louisville Cardinals with some airtight defense in the first half to take a 10-point lead into the locker room.
Well, that, playing defense without fouling, and the difference here, 7 made 3-point shots compared to 1 for South Florida, causes this 10-point lead and that separation going into halftime.
Let's check in with Allie.
Well, Isaac, you guys owned that first half, but it took a while to find a rhythm offensively. What do you need to see more of on the offensive end to stay in that flow?
Well, we got to quit turning the ball over. You know, we were good early, and then down the stretch, they started pressuring us a little bit. We started turning it over. We got to quit turning it over.
They started closing that gap. How do you make sure that this team keeps the foot on the gas?
Yeah, we just got to stay poised. You know, they're a good team. They're really physical on the defensive end, so we just got to take care of the ball, get the shots we want, and then it's all on the defensive end. We got to get stops.
Thanks so much, Isaac.
You're going to be a coach one day.
Hopefully not soon. They got some money to make.
End of the first half. Louisville by 10. We'll send you to AT&T at the half after these messages. You're watching the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship. Let's take a look at the Coca-Cola first half stats from here in Buffalo. Louisville a 10-point leader. South Florida's worst 3-point shooting half of the year was 1 for 9 in a first half. 1 for 17. Thanks for joining us. Jason Benetti in for Brian Anderson, Jim Jackson, Allie LaForce with you. You know, the 3-point shooting is one thing, but South Florida has not gotten to the free throw line nearly as much as they'd like to in that first half.
A team that averages about 27 free throw attempts a game, you know, is not even anywhere close to that in the first half. And a lot of that is credit to the defense for Louisville. But let's go back to the shooting of Isaac Vanille. Look, coming into this game, he was 1 for 6 against Miami, okay? But 5 games included, he was 14 for 37 from behind 3. So to find his range often and early, I thought was imperative for the Louisville offense. Now that opens up spaces, gaps, provides opportunities for offensive rebounding for the Cardinals.
Allie, moments ago, got a chance to talk to Isaiah Nelson from South Florida.
Well, Isaiah, this certainly isn't a team that lacks in confidence. What was the spirit like during the half?
It was just a lot of just picking up and trusting one another, and just doing what we have to do and bringing all energy 20 minutes.
When I spoke to Coach in the first half, he seemed to think any offensive struggles started on the defensive end. What do you need to reinforce to your team defensively?
We just need to pick up on transition and rebound, and that's really it. And then once we get that, we'll end up winning the game.
Keep it simple. Thanks, Isaiah.
Yes, thank you.
Confidence there. They do get a one-and-done trip for Louisville to open the second half.
Right, it's a lot easier said than done against this Louisville team to kind of take all the options away, but you can do it by getting stops. And now about the beautiful defense, that time by Hadley.
I thought he had a little jersey.
Yeah, well, it's a physical game.
Yeah, it is.
Sometimes, see?
Ends up on the ground, and Zougaris takes the boulevard for 2.
Zougaris able to benefit off that big screen.
Pinion zips it for Nelson, and he's not going to waste any time attacking the rim.
But that quick pick and roll and that action, backside of the defense for Louisville, the rotation hasn't been there, and Nelson has found the sweet spot when they run that, when they have run that play. Speaking of which,
Conwell, but then a slow trot to the rim. That was easy.
Well, 2 layups given up to the Cardinals is not the way you want to start defensively if you're Coach Brian Hodgson.
And you don't want Conwell to get hot. He was just 1 for 8 in that first half. Maybe that layup gets him untracked. That's going to be a foul against Louisville and Rogers, who thought he had walled up. Let's go back to Conwell.
We talked about the struggles in the first half, 1 for 8, but here's a beautiful screen that's set. And that time, I don't know, Isaiah Nelson was playing a drop coverage, but he was on the right-hand side of the lane, which gave the slot and open driving lane to Conwell.
They cannot afford him picking up his 3rd foul early in this half, by the way, as Nelson's got it here. He's defended closely by Zougaris, who then meets the baseline drive, and somehow C.J. Brown just zips that off the window.
Yeah, one of the few returning players to this South Florida Bulls squad.
Year number 2 for him out of Marietta, Georgia. There's Conwell riding down the lane, and he'll kick it back out to McNeely halfway through the shot clock. 11 in the first half for McNeely. It's a turnover. Pinion the intercept. Here's Brown diving down the lane. C.J. Brown renewed energy after a scoreless first half.
Well, that's the 10-point off of now 11 turnovers. I believe it is for Louisville. So what's gotten South Florida back in this game has been the active hands on the defensive end of the court.
And Pat Kelsey feels it. That's why he calls the timeout.
They'll transition, get the easier baskets to get yourself back in this game. Well, welcome back. Isaiah Nelson kind of putting his imprint on this game in a little different way. It's been on the defensive end, then out in transition. 1 dunk, thank you very much. Okay, get another steal, Jason. No dribble, that's how you like it. And then in the pick and roll, finally in half court, able to separate himself a little bit from this interior defense from Louisville. So being active defensively, being able to create some opportunities, easier ones for the Bulls,
who had a stretch of 4 for 24 to open this game. They've gotten hot since then, in part because of him. Conwell, the lean in, that's a tough move.
Right, he's so tough. I mean, he loves to drive left, but he can finish with his offhand. Big body, excellent play call by Pat Kelsey coming out of the timeout to get Conwell downhill.
They are a top 10 out of timeout offensive team in the country. Nelson had dangled off. Pat Kelsey's been phenomenal out of timeouts this year. Conwell again undeterred to the free throw line for 2.
And transition, if you don't pick Conwell up early above the 3-point line, once he gets 2 feet in the paint, he's so creative to get his shot up and to draw contact.
And by the way, he's only missed 1 free throw since February 14th. In a month coming into this game, he missed one earlier, and that one is good, as Enos just picked up his 3rd personal. So it's been a herky-jerky day for Wes Enos. He's 1 for 8 from the floor for South Florida. You see him in the background there, just kind of stewing with that 3rd foul, and they're going to keep him on the floor.
Well, I would too. Listen, between he and Joe Pinion, they're 1 for 11 from behind the 3-point line. Let's put that in perspective, Jason.
Yeah.
On the year, one of only kind of 2 or 3 23 players in Division I that have made 100 or more 3-pointers. So Wes Ennis 107, Joe Pinion 106. Right? And I go back to the stats. They're 1 combined, 1 for 11. So hence, where the issue and challenge has been for South Florida is those 2 not being able to find their range from 3.
Here's the volume kicking up. Enos didn't fall down for him. Rebound for Hadley. Louisville on the flip travel right down the lane. That won't go. Follow is there for Sananda Frew. Faint chance of Frew from the Louisville fans who made it up here to Erie County. Pinion got met by Frew and a foul call. Pinion's going to the free throw line.
Well, Frew gets the tip in, but again, it's the advanced pass in transition that compromises the Bulls defense, and now it's a kind of a 1-on-3. Frew does his right thing and smart thing, which is run right down the middle of the lane. Don't assume that your teammate is going to finish that. You're able to get a nice little bunny in there, tip it. What?
We'll take it. A note on Frew in a moment, but first this. Watch every men's game live on your computer, phone, tablet, or streaming device with March Madness Live. Download now to stay up to date on all the action.
Well, when you give me that look, that side look, but I know it means something.
Every look I give you is a side look. Pinion is 2 for 2 at the line.
Touche. Touche.
So at Louisville, when they say Frew, you heard him say it around here. When they say Frew, his mom was watching the games at first. She was like, "Are they booing you?"
Oh,
and he was like, "Mom, no, they're saying our last name, Frew."
Okay, yeah.
Was that worth the side look?
No, but that's okay. I like fun facts.
Conwell! Oh, that's a fun three.
It is, and right now, Conwell you talked about at the beginning too, his ability to take over games. That one unimpeded on that three-point shot.
Pinion trailed beautifully by McNeely. It's knocked away.
And now he doesn't get back, okay?
And Hadley to the rim. Has two. It's a Louisville lead of 16.
Well, Pinion, dismayed by getting the ball knocked away, did not sprint back. Gave up the foul. Gave up the layup, and now a foul. And South Florida, having not been in this position in a long time, little rattled and coming apart right now. Louisville stepping on the gas a little bit more. Conwell, you give me room, I'll take all three of them.
South Florida down 16. The first time ever that Brian Hodson's dad, Larry, has seen him coach. Second time that his mom, Rebecca, has seen him as a head coach. They're upstairs with Allie LaForce.
Well, this is one of the great honors of my life. The true heroes of March Madness are with me, Rebecca and Larry, and also Brian's brother, Garrett, who is credited for getting him to basketball. We'll get into that in just a little bit. But Rebecca, you've gotten to see Brian coach many times, but for Larry, this was the very first time. What was the anticipation like leading up into this big moment?
Well, we were really super excited. We're so glad to be here. And Larry was pretty nervous, but we got here. And we're very happy to be here and watching the game.
You have fostered over 100 children. Thank you so much for all that you do for children in need. What were the emotions like knowing that Brian made it to this big stage with the whole world watching?
I want to tell you, that is a thrilling thing for us because he came to us with nothing, and he actually left our house to be a coach on a volunteer position with a very broken down used car. And he has done this all on his own. He's been a great success in his own right, just in the power of the work he's put in.
Absolutely. You showed him what it was like to take young kids in and make them great and grow them into incredible adults. Now he's in charge of so many young adults as well. What do you hope that he instills in his players that you try to instill in him?
The value of faith, hard work, and following your dream.
It's a beautiful thing. Garrett, when did you know that he could be something special in basketball? Because you get the credit for his love for basketball.
Well, I was never good at it, but it was something that he and I could do together because of the big age gap. Being able to bring him to a game and just see the joy on his face and how much it engaged him even from a young age. I knew it was something that he was going to be passionate about. I never dreamed that he would get this far.
It really is a dream come true. Thank you for all that you've done for hundreds and hundreds of children. This is the story of the NCAA tournament. Congratulations and bravo to this beautiful family. Gentlemen.
Allie, thank you for that. That is a lovely story. And though the scoreboard does not signal that South Florida is having its best day today, there is so much to take from that family. And the way Brian Hodson has said it before, that when there was an open bedroom, when there was an open bed, when there was a couch, whatever it might be, and there was an opportunity to take somebody in, Larry and Rebecca did that at every turn, selflessly, over and over again.
And as a result of that, Brian himself gives back to that same foster care system, okay? Giving back to the system that allowed him to get with those two outstanding individuals that raised him. And he always says, look, the way because I love the sports and basketball, it brings people together no matter religion, race, color, whatever it is. That passion fuels a lot, but him giving back just says a lot about who he is and how he was raised.
There's Wes Enos for 2. That's much needed for South Florida. Yeah, he was 2 years old when they took him in, and this is a magical day. Again, even though the scoreboard does not suggest the best result for South Florida. Kobe Rogers for 2. Louisville has just been relentless in the open floor, in the half court, whatever it might be, as Frew will lead this break. On the kick, Hadley. One more to McNeely. Hey, got it.
Well, I tell you, when this Louisville team is out and running, they're as tough as anybody on the back end. McNeely able to line it up and knock it in.
Our winning looks presented by Great Clips. Let's revisit here, and it's maybe start at the bottom. The move the ball has worked very well for Louisville.
Well, it has. You know, you think about it, the ability to not just make shots, but get high quality shots. And you saw it on that last possession in transition. Ball came back out. McNeely able to catch it in his shooting pocket, and then three-point efficiency for South Florida just not there. Again, a lot of time left in this game. We're not counting the Bulls out. The only way they're going to get back in this game is to score quickly like that.
How about that?
And to get stops. So you need multiple stops. You can't trade baskets with the Louisville team that has kind of found this rhythm offensively.
Oh, what a shovel by McNeely to a lane-filling Frew.
That was a mouthful right there.
It was. We got it out. We snuck through it.
But if you're going to press up, this ball can't be passed all the way down, because now you have two players kind of going out to McNeely. That just opened it up for a beautiful no-look to Frew down the lane. Who's shooting it right now from the free throw line at 63%.
Well, Frew coming into this game, as you said, not a tremendous free throw shooter. He had not missed a shot in his last 3 games. 2 for 3 from the floor, but he's been super efficient for this team when he's been in the game. Foul trouble has been something of an issue for him recently, but Louisville is generally in this game put the foul trouble on South Florida.
Well, they have, because they played really good position defense. They're not bailing South Florida out by reaching. They're utilizing their size to contest shots at the rim. That's just classic Pat Kelsey.
Oh, what a closeout by Frew. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, and look where he came from. But because Frew was in position to rotate, now he just had to take a step or two. Watch the defensive. Frew is right there. Now 1, 2, 3. Now he's out and he's able to get the block. If he's closer to the right side of the rim and other block, he doesn't get over there in time to contest that shot.
That's like shorthanded defense in hockey, what he just did there. Closing out to the point. You don't watch a whole lot of.
Yeah, I'm a Blue Jackets fan.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, how about that?
All right. And that's a pickpocket. Here comes Enos, open floor, got it to Pinion. He'll swoop in for 2. That's what South Florida needs if they're going to come back.
Well, I like it, but that time, Coach Hodgson went to the zone defense. The 1-2-2, 1-3-1 look.
McNeely again, a rainbow that missed. Offensive rebound for Roots. He digs out some real estate, kicks it out, extra to McNeely. Sidestep, bullseye.
Money. One of the challenges we always say is defensive rebounding while you're playing zone, and that time it came back to bite the Bulls.
Pinion to the rim, no dice. Rebound McNeely, and Louisville's feeling it now. With 11 minutes left, the Cardinals out of the ACC up by 22 in what's been sort of a stop and start season. He's just going to keep going. McNeely missed it from one of the S's in madness. Here's Hightower, who came out of the chute hot in that first half. A quick 5. Hadn't scored since. Hightower zings it to the corner. And Jones the miss. The climb for the rebound, dive, plunge down to the floor, and we get a tie-up. Goodness, that was a flying Rogers. But McNeely, you better trail that guy and lock him up. He's smoking hot with 20. Jamie, thank you. Don't let Austin Rapp get hot. We saw it against Michigan in the Big Ten tournament. He hit 3 straight threes from like 25, 27, and 30.
Yeah, pick and roll game, catch and shoot, off the dribble. And, you know, not the fastest and quickest, but he understands angles and how to beat his, his defensive opponent.
Pinion splashes it down and ends up on his backside. Don't sleep on High Point, though, looking for their first ever NCAA tournament win from down there in the Piedmont Triad, North Carolina. Khalifa always scanning, looking to pass. From the high post through Hadley, back to the corner. Roots on the drive, 7 to shoot. He'll barge down the lane, and that's a goal 10.
Yeah, good move by Roots. At that time, your defense can't be compromised when you're in a zone by dribble penetration. When that happens, you're not able to get back and recover.
It's close, Jimmy. It's close.
Yeah, close. No cigars.
Well, it's not your jam.
I know.
If no cigars, you're leaving.
What? Out the building.
Brian Hodgson talking to Chris Pacey over there on the sideline. If there's going to be a run, it's almost got to be now for South Florida as Pinion drops it off. Nelson flying in, and that goes down, and a foul.
But beautiful execution against some pressure up top, and Pinion, he entered the ball inbounds and was able to beat almost every Cardinal down the court to kind of get that give and go with his partner in crime, Isaiah Nelson.
Look at the look on his face, like, we're not done here.
No, I mean, it's a lot of time in this ball game, especially with the 3-ball in effect. We saw in the first half how quickly you can chop into a double-digit deficit if you're able to lock in defensively.
Ooh, a foul in the backcourt against South Florida. Jones can't believe it. If it's him, that's his third, and it is.
Yeah, the Bulls wanted the hook right there first, but it was Jones reaching over the top, and that's where you got to be solid defensively. You know your teammate is coming to trap. You don't need to compromise that trap by reaching and bailing your opponent out.
So here's the zone again from South Florida. Into the middle of the lane. It's taken away from Roots. Pinion and Enos, who flares and fires and misses. Rebound for Nelson. Right back up. He'll draw a whistle. It looks like Nelson has in his mind, I'm going to put all you on my back, and we're going here.
Well, let me say this, too. If I'm Wes Ennis, I've been struggling with my shot. Let me get a layup. Instead of running for a layup, he ran to the three-point line to try to get it back. Sometimes as a scorer, you just need a layup, a free throw, kind of get it going. But fortunately, because of the pursuit by his teammates, Nelson was able to pick up some loose change, pick up that foul, and get to the line.
First 4 coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championship continues tonight, 7 p.m. on ESPN2. For more information on game times and listings, go to ncaa.com. To your point, Jimmy, what Alabama has done, and Brian Hodgson has learned from Nate Oates, and what they did at Buffalo as well. He was an assistant. You and I were both there when Buffalo beat Arizona and blew them out. Part of what they did is take the volume of threes and make them. But it begs the question, if you're 3 for 24 from 3, do you still take?
Well, if they're within your structure of your offense, you better believe you take it, but you can't give up this, too.
Oh, McNeely, what a touch pass to Zougaris.
Yeah, when you're an offense that accustomed to doing that. Now, are you getting your shots under duress, or are they open?
This one is under duress, and it's worth 2.
But that middle pick and roll has been working very effectively, in particular late in the first. They steal.
Pinion, the rim run. That is Rack and Pinion.
It is, and it's the energy off this double team. Pinion. Oh, I'm just not a shooter, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my house.
USF's defensive energy has picked up. They trail by 14. 16 points off of the 14 Louisville turnovers, Jimmy. And that leads to a little bit of an unraveling for Louisville.
Trepidation?
Yeah.
I mean, because what's your equalizer? You're shooting the ball from behind the three-bitter. You're limiting South Florida from getting to the line. But you're giving some of that loose change back to South Florida by turning the rock over. Right here, almost another one.
That was very close to 5. It's chopped out of the hands of Zugaris by Nelson, and he's going to nearly travel as well.
There's a lot of what-ifs on that possession. Zugaris.
They're not saying through this time,
No.
as this arena in Buffalo has definitely turned green. Conwell's had a massive second half. Back tapped by Pinion. It's a foul against Woolley. That's his 4th personal, and USF, there's always this moment in a possible upset when the arena turns. It's happened, Jimmy.
It has, and the Cardinals have gotten a little loose in their concentration and execution. Credit South Florida. And this may be because it was a breakaway in the foul. I think this may be what the officials are looking at.
Yeah, the equivalent of a clear path foul.
Right here, out in front, are you going for the...
Now,
got tripped.
It looked like Woolley did reach, but I don't know that he
Call
made
on the
contact
floor is a
when he
common
reached.
foul on Louisville 14. That play is under review for a potential flagrant foul.
Where's the... I don't understand where the flagrant is coming from. He tripped over. It looks like it's... If we can see that back to see if the entanglement came because of the feet hitting each other.
Right. It did look like Woolley reached initially, but I don't know that he made contact when he did at the first look.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, so here's the pop. It gets away. Hands are on the shoulders, and then
After further review, the common foul stands.
You know what happened? Check this out. Hightower, I think, tripped over his own feet.
You think?
Yeah, on the backside.
But
it was contact.
Yeah. There was two-handed contact.
Yes.
That's a good common foul. Let's see what Gene says about the possible upgrade. Gene Steratore, hi.
Yeah, I think it's a good no call. I mean, just to stand with the common foul. There's nothing really where he's breaking away to, right? Where he's reaching and holding there. He's still got good position, and I think it's just a feet entanglement. I'm going to agree with JJ to start the season off right with him too, big guy. I'm with you, JJ.
Do you know how much he's smiling right now, Gene?
Hey, the game is not official until we hear from Gene. Now the game and the day has started, okay? Bravo.
I love that you actually clap so we can have the whole motif here.
Well, you got to hear it.
Yeah.
You know, you got to hear it.
Free throw is good for Hightower, who scores for the first time here in the second half. Gavin Hightower, the freshman out of powerhouse Sierra Canyon, trying to make it a 12-point game suddenly.
Think about this. If you get to the 6-minute mark, 5.5, and this is a 7-point game, 6-point game.
It's a whistle on Louisville here.
I know. How much pressure you put on the Cardinals because they've been pretty much dominating and leading this game. That's you win in 4-minute segments. Coaches talk about that all the time. And right now, South Florida is doing an excellent job of kind of putting that zone defense in effect, knocking down some shots. And now what they've been doing a lot better is in this second half, getting to the free throw line.
You're exactly right. They've already taken more foul shots this half with 8 and change left than they did in the first half, even with a fairly quiet day for Moma Jaffo over there on the bench. Front end is good. Every bracket buster and every buzzer beater. CBS Sports HQ has your tournament highlights plus wall-to-wall coverage across the sports world, streaming free 24/7. Isaiah Jones, the senior, by way of a couple Horizon League schools, Oakland and Detroit, at the foul line. He's got the second one. The lead is 11. And stress on Louisville for the first time in a while. This pressure in the backcourt has been very successful.
Well, and what it does, it eliminates Conwell from entering the offense early, and it bleeds some clock off the shot clock. I mean, some time off the shot clock.
Nelson reached in and got a tie-up. It is Louisville basketball, but the emotional pendulum is swinging very much to South Florida.
Yeah, and the concentration pendulum is swinging down for Louisville, and that's been the challenge right here, because this thrust of energy and force has placed the Cardinals back on their heels, and they've totally lost their aggression on both ends of the court. This zone has done that as well. Beautiful pass.
Oh, what a look downstairs to Frew. Conwell with his eyes up, and Louisville expands the lead to 13. 8 minutes to go in our opener here in Buffalo, a 6-11 matchup. Hightower scrambles back against Frew. Here's Pinion on Conwell. Off the crossover. Pinion rings it out. Follow good for Nelson. It's an 11-point game again.
Dribble penetration. That got Frew to hit his body off of Nelson just enough that as that ball caroms to the opposite side of the rim, the player of the year in American Conference able to tip it in. Another big-time paint point for the Bulls.
McNeely right down Main Street. Dropped it off right next to him in a phone booth to Frew, and we're going to get a foul against USF. That's number 5 of the half against the Bulls, but we are getting the full Isaiah Nelson now.
Yeah, you can't count him out. Player of the year has a lot of heart, able to tip this in, make this a little closer. You know what? You're really using this time to try to get you an endorsement deal, NIL deal. I see what you're doing.
It's the era. It's the era. Tom Izzo spans all eras.
Don't you get enough money?
Well, okay.
I mean, you big time now.
Don't start it.
I'm just saying. I mean, how much more you want?
Don't start it. Are we negotiating on the air? Is that what's happening?
I see you didn't say it was true, though.
Thanks to NBC and Westwood One for letting me do this. Read the card, Jason. Here's Rogers on the kick to McNeely. Louisville has seen the pressure against it ratchet up. Here's the drive. Conwell closed off. McNeely doesn't care. He's got another. What an assassin Isaac McNeely has been. Here's Enos. McNeely on his hip. Enos, floater, no dice. Rebound down to the deck. Picked up by Enos. He tracked it all the way down. And USF will reset.
Even that shot by Enos was a tough one just because he's been struggling all afternoon.
And a back tap by Conwell. This is out of bounds to USF. McNeely will shoot from anywhere.
Well, as he should. When you have a stroke like this, you're supposed to. But look, the dribble penetration, you collapse the defense. McNeely comes back into the sight line of Conwell, able to catch, square up. And Money hits the mark.
6 to shoot here off the inbound for South Florida. Nelson had a notion. He didn't take it. Now it's a long 2 instead. And another closeout by Frew. Nelson has only made 7 threes all year. He was indecisive there, stepped inside, and Frew has been a defensive menace today.
Well, the length. We talked about it early in this game, how much it impacted the lack of scoring in the paint and finishing at the rim by the Bulls.
Hadley on the attack. Rip it to the far corner. Conwell, little show and go. Hop in the lane. Step through. That's denied. And picked back up by Louisville and Rogers, who whistled it wide.
Right thought process, but the execution, again, premium on passing. Ran Conwell out, and the ball went out of bounds, so took away an opportunity to get a clean look in the corner.
There was a 3 there and available, certainly.
Big time.
Moving down to 6 minutes to go. South Florida in the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2012. Trying to launch a comeback. Hightower down the lane, hits the deck and scores.
He knew what he was going in for once he went in the lane. He braced himself, but eyes up, absorbed the contact. The beautiful part about finishing that play is that now South Florida, you can set your defense, and now you get a deflection. Now, that's this play by Hightower. Now, the beauty about this is because it was a deflection, Hadley can't move. So he's stationary in the spot. Let's see if South Florida can create a 5-second call or get a turnover
The length of Isaiah Jones making it difficult, and Rogers shows himself. By the way, as we came back from the commercial, the officials did knock 6 seconds off the clock. There was a clock issue, and they're going to have to get it into the front court here. That's 10. It's a 10-second violation. South Florida turning up the Bunsen burner of its defense.
Now it's the ball, the quick trap. Isaiah Jones has the length, but also lateral quickness to stay with Kobe Rogers. Another opportunity to cut this lead to 10 or less with a 3.
Pinion wants it. Pinion got it. It's a 9-point game. It's a whistle and a foul against South Florida. Louisville is 1 short of its season high in turnovers already with 5 minutes left. Back to the 3 for Pinion, who's feeling it.
Well, he's found his range, 4 for 9 from behind the arc, a quick hitting play. Pinion, because what I love about what he's done with his game is he's mixed it up in transition, getting to the basket, in half court, attacking the rim. Guess what? Now you feel good about yourself. Catch and shoot, no problem.
He was at Arkansas, didn't play a whole lot, just 2.5 points a game, transferred to Arkansas State, hooked up with Brian Hodgson, and has really made himself into something. Take away Nelson. He's denied by the rim. The follow for Pinion, and he's collapsed on. We'll get a tie-up. It's going to stay with South Florida. 5:11 to go, and this feels like one of those games, Jimmy, that if you put 10 minutes on the clock, South Florida would maybe be your favorite at that point.
It does, because it's funny how Uncle Mo shifts for you, which is momentum, and it's all in favor right now of South Florida. A good defensive stop here goes a long way for the Cardinals, I'll tell you that.
Nelson had it taken away, pried away by Frew. Louisville by 9. This program that won the title 13 years ago and had it vacated. Now we get a foul. It's on Conwell. Oh, Hightower pounding the hardwood here in Buffalo. The NCAA tournament spirit coursing through him.
But watch Hightower time this up. Boom, gotcha. Got him. Time that thing right up.
Louisville under Pat Kelsey, as they're going to go to the scorer's table here. Louisville under Pat Kelsey, went up with 5 minutes left, is 49-0 in 2 seasons. That's the situation right here. We've got an official review underway. We'll get word from Lee, Steven, and Chris. They're going to check and see if this gets upgraded.
There's a common foul on the floor. The crew is initiating a review for a potential flagrant foul.
We saw an upgrade involving a leg takedown in the first half on the wing on a landing spot.
Yeah. Wes Ennis. So this could be a huge call. If this is changed to a flagrant,
you get free throws.
And you retain possession of the basketball. So
correct.
A potential of 2 points from the line.
Then you get the 1-and-1 that's coming anyway.
Exactly.
Foul. It'll be 1-and-1.
Okay, so never mind.
But the point is anyway that South Florida is the team that's charging here, and they were down by 20 in the second half.
Now I give the Cardinals credit, though. Every time South Florida has made a run and got this lead a few times below double digits, the Cardinals have responded.
Yep.
Backs against the wall. They kind of buttoned it up a little bit, didn't turn it over, kind of utilized the interior to not only score, but to create some open looks for McNeely. So the response is going to have to be the same right now against this very aggressive South Florida team.
Free throw, no good for Hightower. Rebound, pinballs to Nelson. He put it on the rim, and it crawled off.
And that's the second shot on an offensive rebound that Nelson has missed, and the size inside had some influence on that.
Oh, wow. Hadley could have gone up. He tried to spin it to McNeely, and this is going to be South Florida ball. Louisville is a little unhinged right now, Jimmy. or at least in between in its decision making after having a 23-point lead in this half.
Well, we saw what Hadley wanted to do. He wanted to kick it over to McNeely, but the execution just wasn't there. I don't know if he lost the ball, lost concentration, but whatever it was, the play was not executed, and it's a turnover. Another opportunity for South Florida.
9-point game for Louisville. Former conference opponents, the Bulls and the Cardinals, in 4 separate leagues. They're playing like a league game. 2 for Hightower. It's a 7-point game.
How about the breakout game with Hightower? Not just on the offensive end, been a major deterrent on the defensive end, and the reason why this lead is cut below 10.
It's like 5-on-7 right now. South Florida's flying everywhere. Under 4 to go. Louisville trying to hang on to the thread here in our opener. Conwell starts his move. Steps back, didn't take it. 2 to shoot. Why not dunk it? Frew hammers it home. A rare post touch in this run from Louisville. Pinion couldn't unhook from McNeely. He's right on his hip. Pinion step through window, yes.
Nice Euro step. And next time, Nelson has to do a better job of not being too much on the high side up through, and that's what gave him the passing angle. Now he commits the foul.
That's 4 on Nelson.
But watch this. On the high side, too easy. That pass to the baseline, sign Fruit doing the rest, but Joe Pinion. I may not be shooting the 3 as well as I want, but I can get to the basket.
It's time to start your engines because TNT Sports is back as your home for NASCAR this summer. Tune in beginning June 28th on TNT and stream on HBO Max. Louisville had run this game for the balance of it. South Florida's on the comeback trail after trailing by 23 with just over 12.5 minutes left in the game. Allie was listening in the huddle. Allie?
Well, they were talking about a good mix of offense and defense. Coach reiterating to the team, listen, if we get in the bonus, be strong with the basketball. Don't push off. Use your body. Lean in, be strong, and go up for the finish. Defensively, trap, trap, trap. But if their big catches the ball, don't trap. Make him dribble. But Coach just looked at his team and he said, we have 3 minutes to go get this game. Go get it. And you could see the leadership from Nelson in that huddle, reminding guys to communicate and to rotate. It was very much a Nelson-led huddle along with Coach.
It's USF's Brian Hodson. Thank you, Allie. 1 for 2 there. And look, if Louisville ends up winning this game, what a resilient effort for them as well. It's an 8-point game. South Florida ball with Isaiah Jones, the senior. Pinion has McNeely on him. He blew by him. He kicks it to the corner. That 3 is no good for Enos. Offensive rebound. Reload Pinion. No good. Wide left. Into the corner. Saved again. Pinion with 17 to shoot. Here is Hightower, the freshman, stabbing with 11 to shoot. He'll probe again. Defended by Frew. Hightower doesn't care. Size disadvantage. Spin it out wide. Enos. Front iron. Rebound for Frew. Louisville holds the line.
Yeah, 3 chances there. Couple good looks. Enos just been out of rhythm the entire afternoon.
0 for 10 from 3, Jimmy. 2 for 14 for the floor.
So you're talking about leaving a bad feeling in your mouth for when you want to step up in a big situation. But still, yet and still, South Florida, 3-possession game. Despite those struggles of that young man, and I get it, but Hightower has come in and played a huge role. 4 for 6, 10 points, 3 assists, got 3 boards.
Free throw, no good. Conwell and Louisville let the door creak open a little bit. It's an 8-point game, moving down to 2 minutes to go in Buffalo. Hightower at the controls. Pinion off the curl. He's hit 4 threes. He'll drive this time and push it up with the right and score.
That's just smart basketball. I mean, they're going to play you for the 3, but Pinion has done an excellent job of switching it up. And how about the jump ball? Another one.
Stalemate.
That's right.
Louisville basketball with 1:53 to play.
I tell you what, the clock is, or the arrow's getting his work.
It is.
This afternoon. It's been a lot of tie-ups. But how about the ability, one, to trap in the middle of the court, which is always a tough entry pass. And Isaiah Jones able to get both hands on the ball. But back to Pinion, utilizing his ability to get to the basket and getting quick shots made so you can set your defense. Smart basketball.
He's the only South Florida Bull who's made a 3. So he's opened up the lane for himself in that way, right?
Yeah, great call.
Inbound for Hadley. Just barely got it in. It's off the deflection, picked up by Conwell. He gets ridden to the sideline. Tipped and stolen. Pinion's got it. On the drive, he hits the deck and spits it out for Enos. 1:43 to go.
Slow down. Slow down. You got plenty of time to attack here. You don't need to be in a rush.
And that's why the timeout.
Yeah.
Exactly what you said. Timeout USF. Another backcourt turnover for Louisville. They've hit blackjack in the turnover department. 21 of them in a 6-point game suddenly. Louisville trying to hang on, leading by 6. $1:37 to go. Jimmy, if people are just tuning in, how did this go from 23 to 6?
It was aggressive nature by South Florida by picking up the defense. One, they switched to a zone defense. Two, they picked up pressure full court. And once they've done that, the concentration level for Louisville went down. Now, these last few minutes, Conwell just turned the ball over. Why? Well, he takes the ball close to the sideline, which now becomes basically another player with 2 players on you. Keep the ball out of the corners, more centered in between, the free throw lines. So now you can pass through the pressure instead of trying to dribble through the pressure, which has been a problem for Louisville.
You saw this would be the second biggest comeback in NCAA tournament history. And what it has in common with number 1 is that Iona team played a very similar style. Like, not use a lot of shot clock, run up and down under Tim Klutz. They saw a big lead go away as Hightower has to do the moonwalk with 10 to shoot. Hightower to Pinion. He'll let it ride. That's no good. Rebound yanked down by Rogers.
That's a big-time rebound because Nelson was right there to get his paws on that. That's how you have your guards engage to grab those tough rebounds.
Nelson couldn't foul there. That would have been his 5th personal, the American Conference Player of the Year. 9 to shoot for Louisville. Down to a minute to go. Conwell stalking a shot, swaying the dribble. Conwell lost it. Has to wrap it around to the corner and a violation. 54 and change to go. South Florida down 6 will have the ball, Jimmy.
And poor execution down the stretch. Right here for the Cardinals. And my philosophy, I'm attacking off the dribble and getting the basket as quick as I can and set my defense and force Louisville to have to beat the press once again. And we're trying to do everything against set defense and shot clock violation.
They're going to check the game clock here and make sure 54.6 is right. You saw Michael Brown Jr. on the bench. He is very unlikely to play in a prospective second game for Louisville, but you can tell, right, when you're down.
The game clock should be adjusted to 55 seconds.
All right, 4:10 back on. When you're down any ball handler
and
shooter, that can be a problem. And he is such, I mean, look, he puts up 45 in one game.
Well, here's the thing about it. In defense, Ryan Conwell is more of a 2 guard, playing point guard. McNeely is a shooter. Kobe Rogers, not your prototypical point guard. Neither is Brown Jr., but they give you more ball handling. So some decision-making errors are a result of that down the stretch of this game.
Here comes South Florida. 50 seconds to go. 6-point game. Pinion scrambling on the dribble. Frew with the length. Pinion over him. That's wide. It's out of bounds. It's Louisville basketball. Sananda Frew and his tail of the tape, that wingspan, have been enormous today.
And that was excellent half-court defense. Defended the handoff. Back to the pick and roll. Even though it was a switch, Frew utilized his height to negate a shot by Pinion.
Frew's got it. They got a foul at some point here. Looking for the turnover first, and Louisville will rip it into a break, and Frew gets undercut and just landed with a thud. Sananda Frew was streaking to the rim, and a thunderous hit on the deck here in Buffalo.
And Hightower gets caught here. He's trying to reach for it, and Frew sees it, but fortunately, watch the arm come down to brace a little bit and take some of that impact away. Not all. I mean, this floor doesn't move, and I think Pat Kelsey wants to review this to see if it's flagrant. And the reason why is because a player is airborne.
Yes.
Defenseless. That's why Pat Kelsey is trying to implore the officials to look at it, but they're not. And Frew is coming off the court. Now, keep in mind, since he can't shoot the free throw back in the day, the opposing coaches can go
you
to
get to pick
off the bench.
That's right.
Now you don't. It's the remaining four, one of the remaining four players on the court.
On the court.
You get a guy.
Yeah, I want that guy. Give me the mascot. So it'll be Hadley going to the line at 70% for the year.
Yeah. And he's one. Well, he hadn't shot in the free throw all game, so his first attempts are right now. A pressure situation. Steps right up, no problem.
Last time Louisville won an NCAA tournament game, they were a 2 seed. They beat Jacksonville State. Donovan Mitchell had 9 points and 10 rebounds.
That name sounds familiar.
It's been a while.
I think I had that game too.
Did you?
Yeah. Because I had Donovan's game in college. So I think I was part of that.
Hightower down the lane. That crawls in somehow, some way for 2. It's a 5-point game with 22.4 to go. Double bonus on a foul. See if they trap and try to steal. Conwell spins it aside, throw it up ahead. It's caught there by Rogers, and a foul as Hadley will go to the free throw line. 7 seconds or so came off the timer, and Louisville just might survive a hard charge from South Florida.
Well, again, you pass over, get the initial pass in, get it to the middle of the court. Now you can attack the pressure over the top. Intelligent play by Rogers to bring it out and run some more clock off the, some time off the clock.
Hadley got the first.
I'm gonna tell you what, it may not go in South Florida's way this last 15 seconds, but I think they found something. And Gavin Hightower, the young freshman, came in and played a huge role in why they were able to be competitive.
Lead is 7. South Florida inbounds. Here is Enos to a timeout with 13.9 to go. So we'll step aside. Louisville trying to break this drought of 9 years in NCAA tournament wins. Louisville trying to get its head coach his first NCAA tournament win. Pat Kelsey and his team up by 7 over South Florida with just over 13 seconds to go. Coming up next, Michigan State, North Dakota State. Winner of this gets the winner of that game. South Florida will inbound, trailing by 7, looking for a miracle. Enos, no. Nelson follow and flush. It's a 5-point game. 10.5 to go. Hadley the inbound, and they will get a foul.
Dead ball foul.
Yes.
Dead ball foul, that time on Pena. Automatic free throws here. See, and that's before you could even attempt to see if you can get a steal once the ball was inbounded. Tough.
Brian Hodgson was trying to talk to Isaiah Nelson, I think. We saw him over on the sideline to give him a word of what's coming next off these free throws. But Pat Kelsey and Louisville, who've played 13, now 14 games this year against NCAA tournament teams, trying to withstand this rush from South Florida. Free throw is good for Conwell, who has had a massive second half. 12 points after halftime for Ryan Conwell, the 7th leading scorer in the ACC.
Yeah, but for Louisville to advance, he can't have those 6 turnovers. Better decision making with the ball. It's going to be critical, not just for him, but for this team overall, if they want to continue to advance, you know, here in the tournament.
Enos hit ahead. Pinion chucks it up and knocks it down. Not over yet. 5.2. 4-point game. Louisville does have 1 timeout if they can't get it in. And they'll struggle to get it in, and we get a foul called. Nelson was standing over the body of Frew.
Well, I think to your point too, like if at that 5:42 mark, if it was instead of 10 minutes, what this game may look like now, because of the momentum that South Florida was carving out. But you know, Louisville's done an excellent job of responding when South Florida made those runs. So that says a lot about the character of this Cardinal team as well.
You said it, defending without fouling so important. They've only allowed 16 free throws as the Spartan fans, go green, go white, have made their way into KeyBank Arena here in Buffalo. Michigan State taking on the guys from Fargo. About half an hour after this game comes to a conclusion, Isaiah Nelson is done for the day. That was his 5th personal foul. The transfer from Arkansas State, who joined his coach Brian Hodgson here at South Florida and became the American Conference Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Newcomer of the Year. That is short from Frew. 5.2 to go. And now if you're Louisville defensively off a miss here, you just can't foul.
Can't do anything.
You can't.
Okay, you just get back and allow South Florida to go ahead and shoot whatever they want.
Down to 3 seconds. Pinion into the front court. He'll heave it. He'll miss it. And Louisville, for the first time in 9 years, wins an NCAA tournament game. Pat Kelsey gets his first NCAA tournament win. 83-79. An exhale for the Cardinals from the Commonwealth.
Well, if you tell Pat Kelsey you're going to have 22 turnovers for 24 points to the opponent against a team that likes to dominate inside and shoot threes, he's going to say, oh man, we're going to lose that game. But they didn't.
Yep.
They found a way defensively to stymie the offense of the Bulls. And sometimes you utilize a game like this as a teaching moment of how much the defense can carry you when the offense is not in favor.
83-79 the final score. After all of that from South Florida, Louisville has enough grit to get through. Final score here in Buffalo, 83-79 Louisville over South Florida. Man, Isaac McNeely, Jimmy,
when you need
some huge shots for this team to create some separation.
I tell you what, you don't know how much you missed a 3-pointer until you don't have it. Ask South Florida. You know what I mean in this game, but it was McNeely that immediately got this party started. His ability to square his shoulders, create space, knock in threes early, opened up a lot of interior offense for the Cardinals. And when you needed a big basket to kind of stymie what the Bulls were heading towards, it was McNeely somehow coming up with a huge 3.
You know, he just tied his career high with 7 threes in this game. After, again, 2 games in the ACC tournament, he made 3 total threes.
Yeah, 1 for 6 the last game against Miami. So confidence not lacking. That's what you love about McNeely.
Get hot, Poca, West Virginia. Final score here in Buffalo goes the way of the Louisville Cardinals over South Florida in a tight one, 83-79. Tournament games continue live now on CBS, TBS, and True TV. North Dakota State, Michigan State coming up on TNT. To the studio, Capital One Tournament Central after these messages.